What's up, everybody? This is Brian Parker with Head to Head, and we will be going live right at about 6:05. We'll start our countdown at 6 o'clock. Give everybody about a good 5 minutes to join in and everything. So, I wanted to go ahead and get started. Normally, I'll try to come on for a quick pre-show and just introduce the program, just to let everybody know what it is that we do. If it's your first time viewing, we are Empower Network. We have a Roku channel with that name. And on that channel, we present a lot of independent artists, whether they're musicians, whether they have their own podcasts, whether they have short films, comedy skits and routines that they want to be able to air on multiple platforms, including the Taboo or Vimeo. So we provide that service as well. In addition to that, we also have our main show, which is called Head to Head with Brian Parker. We stream that live every single Thursday at 6 p.m., 6:05-ish. And it's a community forum. We talk a lot about things going on in the world. A lot of things do cross over into the political scheme because, I mean, anything from paying your taxes to buying a gallon of milk or a loaf of bread, there's some kind of political leaning into it. So it's not that you can always get away from that. So, we'd like to talk about that, and we'd like to make sure that you join us for the ride. What's up, Mr. Anthony Price? Thanks for coming back, sir. Like I said, we're going to start our full live with Brian Parker on at 6:05. We've got two special guests today. Nitara Reaves, a singer-songwriter, and also from the great state of New York, New York City, we've got Mr. Courtney Starks, who is going to be talking with us about his upcoming book that is going to be released in just a few days. Very excited for him. He's a real good dude. Just wanted to bring him on to be able to tell you a little bit about his story, and maybe we can get some insight into his book and everything. And hopefully we can get some folks to pre-order it as well. Not sure how much time we'll have to talk about anything outside of that. If we do, we'll certainly do that. But if you, the audience, want to be able to join in, there's two ways that you can do that. You can just in our live chat during the show. So if you have any questions, comments, observations, please share those with us. Or if you want to come on to the actual show for a few minutes and be able to do the exact same thing, if you don't mind being on air. And ladies, I know you got to make sure your hair is good and nails look good. I get it. I can't just bring you on in a moment's notice. I get it. But us fellas, we ain't gonna really be able to do much with ourselves. We look, but that's neither here nor there. But we want to be able to just hear from you. The main thing that I really, really want you to be able to do is a couple of things. Number one, please, if you haven't gone on to Roku and you do have a Roku device, please add Roku. Please add Empower TV to your Roku device. All you have to do is search Roku. On your Roku, add a channel, add Empower. Also, if you're on Facebook, we do have our Facebook page as well as under Empower TV Network Parker Media Group. Please add that on as well, as you'll get all the updates. And lastly, YouTube. We have our own YouTube channel, Empower TV Network. Please, anytime you do that, just subscribe onto that and share. Share this, share the YouTube channel, just share anything that you possibly can. The more viewers that we get, the more opportunities we have to bring different content to people all over the world. For those of you who don't know, Roku has over 75 million users worldwide, and we are pleased that we are 13 months into airing on Roku, and we have seen folks tune in everywhere from St. Martin to India, United Kingdom. I just saw Argentina the other day, Colombia, Canada, Mexico, and of course the United States. So that really, really warms my heart, because it means that we are reaching out to a lot of people, and we really do appreciate that. And then, like I said, just please go to Roku, sign up for that. We're going to get the live show started in about 5 minutes. But you know what it is. It's time for us to do that 5-minute countdown, and we'll be back right after this. So we'll see y'all in just a minute.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. It's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. Ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it, get it, get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it, get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. A comma and a comma and a
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it. And it's a ticket.
Woo! What's up? What's happening, y'all?
What's up?
Oh my goodness. Welcome to another episode of Head to Head with Brian Parker. I am he. I better not do that to show my ball spot. I am he. Then I have to start turning to the side more. And we are back for another show. It's going to be a great show today. We got a special guest coming up in just a second. I'll introduce my panel after this, but we have a sponsor, and it is going to be Plumbers, Electricians, and Beyond. And here's their commercial. Okay. So, Plumbers, Electricians, and Beyond is a family-owned company that does handiwork, plumbing, and electrical work in the DMV area. If you don't know what that is, that's DC, Maryland, and Virginia. And they are expanding and looking for more people to be able to join their team. So we are spreading the word that they are looking for people, and at the same time, if you are in that area and you need some handiwork done or plumbing, electrical, that kind of thing, please reach out to them as well. We'll air the commercial plenty of times. It'll also be up on our Roku channel as well. Want to go ahead and say hello to our panel. We have Mr. CJ. How about them Cowboys Jones?
What's up? How you doing?
Good, boy. I tell you, you can smile a little bit when you can hit a field goal, huh?
Yeah, they make the difference. That makes the difference between a win and a loss.
That's true. Speaking of hitting field goals, we're gonna say hello to Mr. Michael Big Blue Offsides Berry, who snatched victory from the jaws of defeat with a last second retake on the field goal from the Washington football team.
Yeah, so we're not talking about that. But let's talk about the Jets.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, listen.
So did you know? Hold on. Their rookie quarterback set a record and everything this past weekend.
Okay.
He became the fourth. Is it fourth? 1, 2, 3. The fourth quarterback taken in the top 5 to throw 4 interceptions with 0 touchdowns in the game, and the other 3 are Mark Sanchez,
of course,
Donald, and Alex Smith, I think.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, listen. My wife will get on me if I go all sports on the show, since we have head-to-head sports every Wednesday at 7:15 with myself and Mr. Randall Hargrove. That was a nice little plug. But I just thought about you the whole time when I watched that game, because I was actually rooting for a good game, and it was a good game. There were just some drops and some penalties and stuff like that. And it's funny how a remade field goal can make Tyler Heineke go from just a quarterback to a great feel good story and everything. So it was just kind of funny to see how that all transpired. And let's see. Speaking of the Queen, we have Miss Lori Parker. How you doing, Lori?
How you doing? How you doing? I had a little bit of technical difficulty. Camera got lost on the other computer, so I had to switch.
All right. Well, we're glad you could come back in and join us. To keep CJ to behave and everything. Well, listen, y'all. I don't want to waste too much time. We have a very special guest. He's dropping by because, I've got to know this dude for the last couple of years. Man is amazing. I wanted to bring him on. He has a new book coming out this weekend. Happy for him on that. And I just want him to come on and talk about the book, talk about himself, the things that he does. And he may not go into all of it. So if he try to come up short, I'm going to go ahead and insert myself in that and get this man. Like he likes to give people their flowers. I'm going to give this man his flowers because it's well overdue. I am talking about no other than the one, the only Mr. Courtney Starks. Courtney, how you doing, my man?
Wow. First of all, thank you for the introduction. And I'll promise not to leave any crumbs on the table. Okay? I promise to let everything out, I swear. But how's everybody doing? Nice to see everybody.
I'm doing
Hello.
good. Good. Hello.
All right, Courtney. So listen, man, a lot of people may not know a lot about you. So I wanted you to just kind of introduce yourself first and let everybody know who Courtney Starks is, what it is that you do. You do so many things. You got to be one of the busiest people I've ever seen in my life because you're everywhere. You do everything. I don't know how you had time to write a book when you've got Courtney's Corner, Uncensored, One-on-One, toy drives, trips to what was it, King's Dominion that you did? Did you do that? Yeah, so you're always doing stuff. So let the audience know about Mr. Courtney Starks.
Yes. First and foremost, thank you for having me. My name is Courtney Starks. I am the CEO and founder of Courtney's Corner. We are a media company and brand that focuses on impacting lives and sharing stories that are not getting mainstream media. We focus on allowing people, businesses, entrepreneurs, or people with really deep stories to have a platform to be able to allow their voices to be heard, to give them their flowers, and to also start conversations. We believe that a lot of things can be avoided if we stop hiding behind the fact that conversations are essential. So that's where Courtney's Corner derived from. I always say I am the vessel that God put in place to be able to create all of these platforms and do all of these things. I always say I'm a fat kid from Brooklyn with a dream. And I've been allowed the opportunity by the grace of my team and so many people who believed in me to be able to get this far. So I'm thankful and I'm honored.
Absolutely. So tell us a little bit about Courtney's Corner. Oh man, I'm getting some kind of feedback. Somebody got their phone on too? I don't know. Feedback. Somebody. So tell us a little bit about, I don't know where I'm getting this feedback from. Tell us a little bit about your podcast, Courtney's Corner, and then how you turned that into Uncensored. And then during the pandemic, I know you guys were ready to go into studio to start doing another season, and plans changed and you just kept on going. You just started booking folks like Sherry Shepherd on your one-on-ones on Instagram. So you didn't let the fact that you couldn't get into a studio stop you from doing what it is that you love to do. So tell us a little bit about your interviewing and those kind of things.
So Courtney's Corner, we started back in 2010. Literally, I always tell this story of me being a kid on a Toshiba laptop, a busted Toshiba laptop in the kitchen, my grandmother's kitchen, just having conversations that you have as a teenager. I'm 19 years old, so we're not talking about anything important now that I'm thinking about it. But back then, you couldn't tell us that the loss of a love, someone you love dearly, you were in love with that person and they broke up with you, that wasn't important. Your first love was, so having those conversations for us at that age was very important, and kind of wanting to stir up something where we weren't feeling so lost, right? I felt like once you graduate high school and you get into the first year of college, you don't really know who you are, what you want to do. A lot of programs aren't easily accessible to you, and you're just kind of stuck there, right? Because the rush to adulthood or the moving to adulthood is like right there, right? There is no chance to just breathe, take it all in, and figure it out. It's either you're going to work or you're going to school, and that's it. And a lot of us were, kind of lost. I stopped after a while. I struggled with kidney failure for 9 years, and then I relaunched after I got my transplant. It came right back to me. I relaunched it again in 2018, and this time I felt like there was so much more going on in our lives than just that, right? We have grown 9 years now. We've grown a lot. I've grown a lot, but also the topics and the issues and the things that were happening in our communities were real. These things were happening. We were losing people that we knew, the gun violence or police brutality or mental health illnesses, and no one was really having those conversations. So the diaspora of the show changed, and we started our YouTube series on Courtney's Corner. And that was something that was scripted. Every episode that we kind of had, a gear towards what we wanted to do, what we wanted to talk about, what we wanted it to look like, and that's how that went. But knowing who I am, I'm like, it's too structured for me, right? As great as it is, I need to be let loose, right? I gotta talk my talk and be able to be okay, which is where Uncensored came in at. The podcast gave me the opportunity to just curse a little bit here and there, say what I wanted to say, and not feel like, okay, I may say the wrong thing. Like I felt like in the beginning it was a smaller space, and I was able to say a lot more. And I had my team, right? It wasn't just me. So if you said it, oh well, I didn't say it. I'm not gonna get the backlash. We all in this gonna get it together. But it felt great having a team of people to do this with, besides me doing it by myself, looking at a camera dead in the face and not really having, anybody else around me. Like you were saying, we went to get ready for season 3 in studio. We promoted from the kitchen to this busted old Pier Space thing, and then got sponsored to have our own studio. And we were literally getting ready to gear up for season 3, and COVID was like, no, you guys can sit down, take this, you're not getting this studio. And we worked really hard, and we were actually close to inking a deal, and we were right there, and COVID kind of changed those plans. But one thing you know about me, Brian, is I don't believe in the word no.
Yeah, right.
I'm just not right now, right? And I knew that something needed to be done. So even in the confusion and the anger, I realized that I needed to take it back home to where it once was, right? At one point in this journey, there was so much lights, cameras, action, team. You've seen the team. Everything, scripts being done, and assistants, and all of these things. And in that moment, I kind of got lost in just that, right? Oh, okay, Courtney's a star. You're doing this, and you're on TV, all of these things, and I forgot what I was doing it for. So when COVID happened, and I really only had me to do all of this, I realized why I fell in love with media, right? Just having those conversations one-on-one with the guests, and whether I knew them or not, it never felt like they were a stranger. You were into my home. And that's what started one-on-one with Courtney Starks. Taking it back to that old spot in the kitchen in my grandmother's house where I made this come to life. Now having my own place, just kind of doing it here, right? The celebrity aspect of it all, to this day, I won't be able to tell you. It just took a lot of hard work, a lot of digging, and a lot of asking. And I asked one celebrity, and it's now been 100 celebrities. But I started with one, and we are now we have 110 episodes in, and it's life changing because I just started doing the work myself instead of allowing everybody else to do it for me. I was doing my own due diligence and making it happen the way it needed to be. So I'm thankful for what COVID allowed me to birth. It's within myself.
Yeah, that's funny. Empower actually started August of last year, so it was kind of something that I wasn't really thinking about doing. But then I thought about having the channel, and people were spending more time at home. They were working from home, and I'd worked around so many independents that put a lot of their work out and things like that. And I'm like, man, wouldn't it be great to have a platform for them to be able to put their content on and stuff like that? Yeah. And as I was doing it, I was like, yeah, I could actually add some content myself. So we started head to head. Then we did head to head sports. And I was just looking at it yesterday. We've done 28 episodes about the NFL during the NFL season. So we've done that. And then now with this show, we've already gone over, oh my gosh, 50 something episodes. So it's been a journey. It's funny,
Yeah.
You take something that happens like that and you make the most out of it, and that's just a beautiful thing. Yeah. But you've also had a heart. I could have renamed the title of your book, My Kidneys Failed Me, but My Heart's Still Big. That might be part two. Because you don't just, do these things through the media, but you're all about community and reaching back out to your community and getting the community to get involved. And I was fortunate enough to participate in your toy drive. A toy and clothing drive I think you had. And that was just great. Tell me about, what inspires you to, give back like that to the community and what things you're doing.
Yeah. So one of the things that I realized in having these conversations via social media is that a lot of us do a lot of that talking, right? We say a lot of these things and we talk about all of the things that we want to change, but are we the ones going out and doing those things? We're waiting for government officials, we're waiting for councilmen, we're waiting for the president, whoever you're waiting for. We need to stop waiting and start doing. And I realized that we can't continue to try to change. The only way we can change the narrative is if we change it ourselves. And no better way to do that than to go into these communities that we live in, that we sleep in, that we know everybody else in, and get them to want to be a part of that same narrative. And that's what I did. I know I talk a lot. I got a big mouth, but I also know that my heart is big, and I have the power to create that change. But I know I couldn't do it myself, right? So I created the idea. I could see the vision, and I leaned on the people who I've known since I was a child to come in and want to do this with me, right? You talk about these streets, you talk about these kids, you talk about what needs to change, but then let's start making this happen, right? Let's start pouring into these communities and showing people that we care, and maybe, just maybe, things will change. But to sit at home and complain about how things have gone to the wayside, what are we doing within those said communities to make the difference? Because complaining is only going to get you but so far, and once I realized that after that first event, that people were interested genuinely in wanting to be a part of their own communities, wanting to see the future of what could be if we work together, has changed the diaspora of how I feel. So for me, it's more than just saying these things and having these shows. It's about coming back to the place that I lived in and loving all those people and being there for those who are in need of assistance from us, and not from some government where they're waiting for a check every week, if that, you know what I mean? But to show that we're here and we love you and we're family and we're all in this together. We're all a decision away from being in a horrible decision. You know what I mean? So, yeah.
Okay. So you somehow through all of this found time to write a book. You announced it, and I was like, "What? You wrote a book, man?" I'm just like, man, that's amazing. The time and the just the investment that it takes to put your thoughts onto paper and to be able to do that is a lot. And
Yeah.
Trying to find time to do that is a lot. Talk to us about, first and foremost, what's the book about and what inspired you to write it?
Yeah, so the book is about my journey. I'm through, the kidney failure, and then how it looked on the other side once I finally got my transplant. One of the things that I realized after I got the transplant was I wanted to be done with that part of my life, right? Like, I'm done. I got my transplant. I'm moving on. But deep down inside, the truth was that's a part of who I am, right? Going through those 9 years made me who I am today. And I needed to go back to that part of time that I tried to forget, that I tried to bury, and bring that person along the ride with me. Right? I had to go through that grief and that pain and that hurt that I buried. I had to go through that state of confusion or to relive it so that way I could heal. Right? I didn't realize that I was hurting and was upset with those things that had happened to me until I had to relive those things. And once I started writing it on paper and speaking with the therapist and kind of going through those things, I realized that that journey wasn't just for me, that there are so many people who are struggling in the silence of their homes, going through these things, and they don't feel like they have an outlet. They don't feel like they have a way out. They don't feel like they're going to survive on this thing. And I wanted to be at least a voice to let them know that there is life during and there is life after, and that we could make it. We could survive this. It doesn't need to beat us. You know what I mean? So after kind of writing this all down, and I wasn't going to do the book at first. I wasn't. I was fighting it. I'm not doing no book. Who got time for a book? Right? I got a show next week. I got a toy drive I'm doing. Who got time for a book? And my therapist is like, you don't even understand the impact that your story is going to have on somebody's life that's tied to your story. And once she said that, I was like, okay, that's all you had to say. You wanted me, that's it. I'm done. I'll do the book. And this process has been amazing. Just going through this and reliving, from childhood to now, has changed my life. You know what I mean? It's made me see things about myself that I didn't even know, or I didn't even remember, that I kind of just threw away because I didn't think it was important, that I realized it all kind of worked for my good. All the bad things, so yeah, man.
Wow. Well, that's amazing. The name of the book, y'all, is My Kidneys Failed Me, but God Didn't. I mean, it's a great title because it just really shows us that even through adversity, a lot of times it's your faith that will get you through the hardest times.
Mm.
And you're right, the story that you can share with that, you never know who's going to read that, and it encourages them to press forward.
Yeah.
Even when things just don't look right, seeing that other people have been in those situations and have overcome, a lot of times will give people that extra push that they need as well.
Yeah.
So, man, I'm definitely proud of you. I have already gone on to Courtney's Corner LLC, pre-ordered my book. I'm waiting for it to be signed and sent to me. I can't. I wanted to be there for your book opening, but we left New York last year, actually about 51 weeks ago. So we won't be able to make it up there for that. But I know that the book signing is going to be awesome.
Thank you.
I know that the reception to it is going to be great, and I know it's going to touch a whole lot of lives. I know I've spoken a lot. My panel, do you guys have any questions for Courtney? And make sure you take yourselves off mute because I muted y'all or somebody. Anybody?
Okay, Mr. Courtney. Thank you again for sharing your story. It is really inspiring.
Thank you.
And between the three of us, I'm the new kid on the block. My wife, she's been in social media for over 12 years with This Needs to Be Said, and she allowed me to take a little segment on her platform and call it Elephant Exposed. So I'm just basically it's kind of like a spinoff of what you are doing, except for my specifics is in law enforcement, injustices in the courtrooms and different things like that.
Mhm.
Because I have over 25 years of law enforcement experience. So I just try to expose and uncover the different things that happen in the media. So what advice would you give someone that's like me, that's starting out, just getting my feet wet, putting myself out there, and I don't have the following that you guys have yet. So what would you have for me?
I would definitely tell you to do your groundwork. Know exactly what you are going to talk about. Do your homework, do your research, and all the people that you are gearing to have on your show, on your platform, should be in relation to that mission, relation to that topic. When it comes to followers, when it comes to having all the people, that comes with time. You know, a lot of people get discouraged when they feel like, oh, I only got 20 followers, or I only got. Your impact on those 20 could impact 2,000 more people. You never know. So never allow the small things to stop you from being big. Keep on going, keep on pushing, and trust that your impact is going to save somebody's life. I promise you.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Nice gems. Okay.
Courtney, I have a
Hi.
question. Hi. Like I said, it's been over a year, I think, since the last time that I saw you. So again,
Yes.
kudos on the book. I just wanted to sit here and to talk to you a little bit, or if you have any upcoming events that we need to know, like any upcoming toy drives, anything else that's working in the community, that's
Yeah.
community based, that you would like to talk about, letting people know that are watching.
Yeah. So outside of this book launch on Sunday, we are doing our second annual toy drive. Thanks to people like yourselves, our first one was such a huge success that people have been DMing us and messaging us on the website asking the date for the second one since last year. And I'm like, oh my God, it doesn't stop, but this is what we prayed for, right? I prayed for this and it's here. So the date is December 19th of the second toy drive. So all kids this time are welcome. I know I kind of made it smaller last year due to COVID and all of the things that were happening in that. But all kids are invited. I wanted it to be a space where kids just get that chance to socialize, right, and be kids. With the pressures of COVID and all the things happening right now, I want kids to know that it's a joy just being a kid and having a good time, and just in that spirit of Christmas, on joy and love and laughter. So yes, we are definitely looking forward to that. And I may be coming down there, but I can't release all my dates yet. But we are going on a book tour.
Nice.
So I will let you guys know the actual dates I'm going to be. We're going to be doing a 50 city tour. So I will let you guys know exactly all the dates as soon as they're made available to me.
Well, I'll make sure that I know Brian has pre-ordered his book,
Yes.
but I'll pre-order mine. So when that
Thank
comes
you.
around for that tour, I'll get my own personal signature.
Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Okay. And yeah, anytime you're going to have any drives or anything like that, and I know you are good with your media, your flyers and everything else, we'll promote the heck out of it too.
Thank you. And one thing I wanted to say before I forget, we are also now on Roku and Amazon Fire. We have our own channel. Just look up the Courtney's Corner television show. Type that in and we pop up, and all of our latest episodes are up there now. So yeah, I'm excited.
Wow. Okay. Is that 24-hour programming?
That is 24-hour programming, guys. 24 hours.
Nice. Okay, Courtney. So there we go. So y'all can remember this. My production team types fast, which is me. Add Courtney's Corner to your Roku, y'all. Also, just remember, if you want to go ahead and order the book, I know you're doing a bundle where you got the book, T-shirt, and something else.
And it was a T-shirt and the bookmark.
And the bookmark. You can find all of that and other things on Courtney's Corner LLC.com. Again, y'all, we have been blessed to be able to have Courtney. We know he's a busy man, and the fact that he took time for the intro, the commercials, and all the other stuff that we do before the show and got here even before the show started in the green room. We do appreciate that. We wish you nothing but success, as you are clearly destined to enjoy that. It's just a pleasure for me to be able to say, I knew you win. So anything that we can do to help further that, you know, we're brothers in Roku. So anything you need from us, we don't mind cross promoting, because it only makes us all stronger. And you know, only thing else I can say is spread love.
Thank you. Yeah, you know.
All right, my man. We appreciate your time, and we look forward to seeing good things from you. But I know time is precious. So again, we appreciate you for coming through, my man.
Thank you so much for having me.
Anytime. Thanks, Courtney. Hey, y'all, that was Courtney Starks. Yeah, he's up in Brooklyn, just repping and taking the community by storm. You know, I know Eric Adams is the president of the borough of Brooklyn, but the unofficial president is Courtney Starks. Matter of fact, we need to sit there and see if we can get him on the ballot one of these days. This man needs to sit there, because he's really a community advocate and stuff like that. So he's very, very good. He's got a good pulse with the people a lot. And he's right, y'all. I've seen his team. His team is huge. These folks believe in him. And they're just some really good eggs. I've gotten a chance to know Jazz and RJ and then Jen, and he's got even more people than that. So, you know, people follow good people. And, you know, he's never going to sit there and toot his own horn, but I'm going to get his brother his flowers for real, for real. So anyway, y'all, I'm not going to talk anymore about football, because I know, y'all teams ain't gonna be doing too good. My team is playing tonight against the Houston Texans, so I'm ready to sit there and watch this bloodbath unfold. Carolina Panthers gonna be 3-0, baby. And then after that, we do travel to Mecca, as DC4L likes to call it. We're gonna play them Cowboys, and we're gonna come in there and beat the brakes off of them. We're gonna do to Dak Prescott what we did to Tony Romo. We're gonna end his career. Anyway, how y'all doing? Oh, I'm sorry. I got Mike muted. How y'all doing?
We're doing good, bro.
All right.
Doing good.
Well, we were going to have another guest on, but she got arrested. No, I'm just kidding. She
did not get arrested.
She didn't get arrested, but she was being questioned by the police.
She witnessed a crime that happened, and which has turned into, it's now homicide investigation. So she is actually as a witness to the crime that happened. She is with the police, and she actually sent a text message to say, like, she was really sorry that she wasn't going to be able to come on because of the incident that happened today.
Yeah, we hope everything's going to be okay with that situation. I was just busting the chops a little bit, but I am talking about our friend, Miss Nitara Reaves. She is a singer-songwriter, and she's going to be performing this weekend at Festival in the Park. This is a 57-year tradition that we have in Charlotte that happens at Freedom Park off of East Boulevard in Charlotte. So if you are in the surrounding area and you want to be able to come out and see some music, arts, and things like that, hey, please come on out to Festival in the Park. It starts on Friday. It's actually Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I know Nitara was going to be performing on Sunday, I believe. Is that right, Lori?
That is correct. She's going to be appearing at 4:00 at Freedom in the Park.
So if you're available and you want to get a cheap date in and act like you tied into the arts and stuff like that and get some brownie points, Festival in the Park is the way to go.
So is that's what you were trying to do, Brian?
You're freezing up on me. I can't hear what you're saying.
Oh,
so anyway,
was that what you were trying to do? Get a cheap date?
He heard you.
I ain't heard nothing. I don't know what she's saying.
Insert foot in mouth as
Now,
usual.
well, see, the good thing about being the host, CJ, is, I mean, bam.
What you gonna get you? You better bring her back. You better bring her back.
When I got all the controls in front of me, I got a little bit more. I have a message from the franchise.
Okay.
That says franchise will be back next week.
Okay.
So he's been out for a while. He's been traveling and stuff like that. I guess he ready to take franchise back from you, CJ. I'm sorry, but he's I believe he's in Africa right now, but he is watching us from. I don't remember the name of the little town in Africa that he's in, but he's off the coast somewhere. So we'll see you then, franchise. You get ready for us, and we'll have a full plate of things going on. But while we still do have a few minutes about the show, let's get cracking into some subjects. And again, we invite anybody that's watching, if you want to join us on the live chat in Charleston now. Oh, really? Man, you're fast. Charleston, wow. South Carolina? You were just in Africa. Man. Okay.
Big planes.
It is the plane.
So what do we want to talk about, man? Like what are we hitting up today?
Okay, so a couple of things going on. I was going to talk about this whole he said yep. Okay, South Carolina. I was going to really talk about some of this infrastructure fighting that's going on in Washington, but something else has just kind of been just hitting on me literally. Okay. And that is the fact that it looks like more of the same with the U.S. government, regardless of who the president is. Our immigration policy is just absolutely ridiculous. Through this time of COVID, after an earthquake where Haitians were allowed to come over to the country because of the horrible earthquake, they are being deported back out of the country because our government is deeming that its coast is clear. You can go back now. And I'm seeing images of folks trying to cross the border, and it looks like Border Patrol is pulling out whips and stuff and moving people around like they herds and stuff like that. And the images of that just harkens back to a time where we were hoping that we were past that.
Yeah.
Where whips and stuff is used against people of color to try to herd them and corral them around. Sometimes I don't know what country we live in, but I'm always being told by right-wing people that this is the best country in the world, and if you say anything bad about it, then you're not a patriot. So I'll just let y'all jump in on that. I don't know if y'all have seen the story about Haitians being deported and things like that, but if you have, feel free.
Honestly, I have not seen it, and I don't think that even according to the little highlights that I hear on the radio, I don't think I even really want to see it, Brian. To be honest with you, things like that just drive it's too close to home for me. And again, simply be like when you carry that shield, and it don't matter, or that badge, it does not matter what line of work you're in. Everybody kind of like puts you in this bowl, so everybody kind of associate you with it. So when I hear about customs, treating people worse than animals and different things like that, it makes me ashamed to even say I even wore the badge, that I was a part of something that's supposed to be honorable and respectable. And again, I mean, I sound like a broken record, but anybody that wears that badge is supposed to be above reproach in every way. You're supposed to be professional in every way. You're supposed to be setting the standards of ethics, morals, just treating people like human beings. People are supposed to see that badge and have a sense of relief, aka salvation, when they see you. But us as Black people and other people of color see that badge and they want to run, and we can't, and you can't blame us. We want to run or we want to fight, because
the belief is that you're running so you can stay alive.
Right. So you're running for survival or you're fighting for survival. because 9 times out of 10, something really negative is going to happen to you. So
You know,
yeah,
and you know, so we have to be clear that immigration reform is not a Democrat thing, it's not a Republican thing.
no,
It's a human thing. And I'm looking at the fact that we're bringing in a whole lot of folks from Afghanistan, and not at any point are we going to sit there and say the coast is clear, you can go back to Afghanistan. No,
well,
at no point are we going to
you
say,
got
okay,
a lot of
y'all,
people on the right
the Taliban promised that they're not going to do nothing, so y'all can go back now. You think we ever going to have that conversation with the Afghan immigrants that come to this country? I know we won't, and nor should we. You know, America is supposed to be a country of inclusion. If you listen to people like Tucker Carlson, he thinks it's called replacement. He has a replacement theory that we just trying to brown America to the point there ain't no more white people. And he's scared enough, and there's enough of them that believe that, and that's why a lot of the things that they do is why they do them. But you know, if we're bringing in folks from Haiti because their country is unstable, they had a coup, the president got killed, then they have an earthquake. They hadn't even recovered from the one that happened years ago.
right.
And now we're saying, okay, y'all, we did all we can. Now it's time for y'all to go back. You know, and look, I get it. It's only been 9 months and 3 days. I'm sorry, 8 months and 3 days since Joe Biden got inaugurated. There's no way in the world he could have updated, upgraded, and changed every department. Maybe you changed the department heads, but the actual boots on the ground are going to be a lot of carryovers from previous administrations. They don't fire everybody because they can't do
every administration, and right. I don't know why
but you know what? He got to do something better. He got to set the tone with his immigration folks to say, hey, that's not okay.
Right.
That's not okay. Maybe the last head sat there and wouldn't have said anything about it, but that's not how we gonna do this thing. He need to round them up because those images can be attached to his presidency. You have to wear that. It's like being the quarterback of a football team. If your team lose, you're a bum. If your team win, you're the greatest thing in the world.
Right.
And most of the time, the truth is somewhere in the middle because you can't be responsible for all 53 players. Right. You know, even if you did everything you could do, you couldn't stop Darius Slayton from dropping that pass. You threw a perfect ball. You threw a perfect ball.
Just to the wrong team, though. Just to the wrong team.
No, he just dropped it.
Wide open.
He dropped the ball. Yeah. For once, the dude that normally is the reason that they lose played his mind off. I mean, he was great. Anyway, I don't want to go into the big blue like that. But Lord, Big Blue just gave a game away to the Washington football team. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they did.
But it's kind of the same thing where, you know, they came in talking about America is back. We're going to be back to normal and all these things. When you set that tone like that, and then we see Border Patrol people on horses with freaking whips. What kind of normal are you talking about? You went too far back. You didn't just go back pre-Trump. Hell, you went back to the damn 40s and 50s.
Yeah, you did.
So if that's what you meant by that, nah, I don't think it is, but that's going to be attached to that. Them pictures say a lot. So if y'all haven't seen that, I encourage you to be connected with that and just be informed. When we're talking about immigration reform, we need to be plugged in because, you know, these policies and stuff need to be humane. This is the whole reason, because if we can't treat immigrants humanely, this is why when we start talking about Black Lives Matter and other kind of reforms, it's not going to happen. Just like, I don't know if you guys heard about this, which, hey, Brad, which just kind of got announced, I guess, yesterday, where Tim Scott and Cory Booker basically said, yeah, we're not going to be able to come to any agreement on prison reform. On other breaking news, water is wet. So the photo ops and everything else about them trying to make an effort to do police reform basically has been tanked and torpedoed. Brad says, "Hey gang, what's up, Brad?"
What's up, man?
And it's funny how we do these dress rehearsals just to get to the conclusion that we always knew was going to come. That no Republican is going to sit there and sign on to effective police reform, because one of the biggest things about police reform is doing away with qualified immunity. And for every Republican that I've ever heard of, that is totally off the table. And I know, CJ, me and you talked about that a lot last week about qualified immunity and how that basically gives every police officer out there damn near the same kind of permissions that a fictional character 007 has.
Right.
A license to kill.
Right. It is a license to kill with no accountability. And that's it angers me. It does. It just flat out angers me just to even hear things like that, because they know they can just get away with it, and that's why they don't mind the cameras. They don't mind being recorded or anything like that. So, and that's where that cockiness comes from. Even like you have some of these officers that'll sit up there, wave at the camera, and do all those things because they're just so confident in whatever they're going to do. They know that their fraternity is going to look out for them, or even if go ahead, Lori.
No, I was just saying, just adding on to that, we also had another tragedy that happened in Tennessee today where there was a shooting at a grocery store, and the person who went to shoot up the grocery stores, people were injured, actually killed himself. So again, this goes, if you're talking about qualified immunity and also police reform, but also this also leads back to the gun issue and about guns. And I mean, again, and we've said this before, how many other tragedies are we going to sit here and encounter? It's sad that Tim Scott and Cory Booker, even though we knew it was not going to happen at all. And the same thing is going on with infrastructure, because they keep going back and forth and about the debt ceiling and all of that. But it's just still being at the point of when is it going to come to a point to where it's going to be done, and you're going to have to, because unfortunately, everyone has too many of their own self-interest involved, and
that's what it boils down to, Lori. Is the right person has not yet fell victim to these things yet. That's basically what it's going to have to be boiled down to. The right individual, whomever that person may be. I'm not trying to speak nothing on anyone. I don't want for anyone to become a martyr, but it just haven't happened to the right individual. And that's the only time you actually probably going to see an actual effort. And especially coming from the Republican
question.
Yeah.
Tonight.
Lori, did you say something?
No, that was, I don't know what that came from.
Was a bleed over. Yeah, that was a bleed over from like another channel or something.
Yeah, because I was like, that has nothing to do with anything, because I was like, what is this?
I thought you had another special guest.
That was
at first I did thought it was Lori.
That wasn't Pinto speaking,
you
was
a
it?
very good ventriloquist.
I thought y'all taught Pinto how to speak or something.
We're working on it.
You working on it?
I think I keep hearing Pinto is kind of in his feelings a little bit, and he doesn't like to get up when he's supposed to, and he just be looking at you like, "What's happening?"
Wow, you talking about a
That's
dog?
exactly what he looks like. Did a good job.
So to answer some of this, I'm just gonna say it, and you're not gonna hear this on any major news network.
No,
because they lack the courage, and that's going to be a familiar theme. If you are affiliated with the Democratic Party, the majority of your party is bought and paid for. If you are affiliated with the Republican Party, the majority of your party is bought and paid for.
Amen.
What do I mean by that? Most politicians, I don't want to say they don't have a soul, but what I will say is that their soul doesn't get in the way of them profiting. It doesn't get in the way of them looking at the tailwinds and reading polls to see what direction they need to go in. Well, what do you mean by that, Brian? Well, listen, your politicians do not make decisions based on how you feel in your area. If that were true, Joe Manchin would not sit there and be against a $15 hour minimum wage when people working in coal mines in West Virginia.
Right.
But what directs him are going to be all of the dark money that he gets from dirty coal, those campaign contributions, because those same low-skilled folks working in the mines in West Virginia are not donating to his campaign. That's not who's funding him. It's going to be gun rights protection groups. It's going to be dirty coal folks. It's going to be fossil fuel companies. It's going to be all of those kinds. Now, I'm not even talking about Republicans. I mean, you can go down the list who buys and pays for their campaigns, but it's the same thing. And the Supreme Court really made it easy for a lot of these companies not to report and all these super PACs and everything else to raise money for these folks because there's no disclosure of who's contributing and things like that. They don't have to disclose that. So as long as we have all this dark money into your politics, decisions are going to be made not based on the good of the people, i.e., controlling how many guns are out there, i.e., controlling the cost of prescription drugs, i.e., controlling police reform. Right. None of those things help make a profit. When you got unions and lobbyists and everybody else whispering kind words in their ear and sliding them a donation check, that's who they're gonna listen to. That's why things that, even though when you look at a poll, can be very, very popular, such as gun reform, it is very popular. It won't get passed because the ones that influence these people are not the ones taking the polls.
Right.
That's your problem.
It's all about the money
on both sides.
It's all about the money, man.
It's always about follow the money. That's all you ever got to do. If you want to know what's motivating somebody, most of the time, follow the money.
Yeah.
People will give up on their morals, their values. They were for one thing one time, then they'd be for something. That's why you see so many politicians flip-flop, and they can always pull up a video of them saying one thing, and then now when there's a opposing party in office, then they say something totally different, and it's the exact same thing. You do that little split screen, and you play a little bit of them saying this, and then you play a little bit of them saying that.
Right.
And it's two totally different things. And you like, is he a hypocrite? Nah, he's an opportunist.
Yeah.
And most politicians are opportunists. So the reason I bring that up, y'all, is because, again, this starts with voting, local voting. And I know the problem also to me sounds like some people go in with the greatest intentions and they just get corrupted with power, which is why I think that one of the biggest things that we could ever do as far as government reform is set term limits. You should not be able to be in Congress for 35, 40 years. You should not be able to be on the Supreme Court till the day you die, and you got to die for us to replace you. Right. Your senile ass. We should be able to sit there and say, okay, you served this many terms. When you're president, you only get to serve 2 terms. Right. We don't have no presidents for life. We don't get no presidents that can get reelected for 6 and 7 terms. Yeah. That's what Putin get to do. Exactly. But Congress, for some reason, we don't have any term limits. And what happens is that if you are in a heavy red district and you keep getting reelected every year, basically, unless somebody that's more extreme than you come along, they ain't worried about getting put out of office. If you're in a heavily blue district, that's why I don't know what these people were thinking running Boo Boo the clown, name was a coon, Larry Elder against Gavin Newsom in California, and thought they had a chance in the living hell of winning that election when California Democrats outrank Republicans 2-1, and they acting.
This came from a conservative. This came from the mouth of a conservative. They were just looking at him as their local entertainment.
Who, Larry Elder?
Yes.
Mr. Bojangles.
He didn't even pull. I mean, the percentage of votes that he did get, it was so laughable. He shouldn't have never ran. But he was a laugh to them. He was entertainment. And he did all of this and gained all of this, he did all this footwork for nothing. I mean, he was literally,
No, I mean, I guess in that point, but also a lot of other races are getting traction, especially these individuals who stood by Trump. I mean, they were talking about the Secretary of State for Georgia, how they're having someone who's running to replace him, and he's a Trumper. And then there's also Herschel Walker is running for Senate, running for Congress.
Yeah, I saw
Herschel
that.
Walker. And there's a few other Trumpian candidates out there that they're trying to get placed to further his agenda, even though they keep talking about, and they even asked him supposedly, is he going to run another term? If he's not
running another term, when you think about the Trumpites that are following him, he is running. So he is running when you think about the people that has his agenda for their platform. Just because you are not looking at the man, so you gotta Trump is an ideology. He's more than just the man. So they're following his ideology. Therefore, Trump is still running for these offices.
I got you. I actually agree with that. And the reason is because the more and more polls that get done, there's more people now that are convinced on the Republican side. The majority of Republicans believe that Trump won the election.
Oh yes, and I actually saw a person at Walmart who had his MAGA hat on, his Trump won, and he was making a big fuss about wearing a mask at the optometrist, and was downright ornery. But again, he had on his MAGA hat and his Trump Trump for life shirt.
Oh my God!
Yeah, I saw where CNN were interviewing people at the Justice for J6 rally that just happened over the weekend, where only a couple of hundred people showed up.
I thought it was like 150 or 200, something like that.
Yeah. And what happened was they kept asking people, should Trump run in 2024? And a lot of the people said, absolutely. And then they said, well, if he doesn't run, there's so many other great candidates out there. And one name that I kept hearing as either a runner or a running mate for him was Candace Owens.
Yeah.
Now,
why?
Do y'all believe?
Oh, she's pretty. She's so pretty. She's so pretty. And I'm like,
do y'all believe that Candace Owens, Herschel Walker, Alan West, Larry Elder, do y'all think they know what they're doing?
Bruh, no.
I mean, from the standpoint that the stuff that they're saying isn't really true.
They're saying sensational stuff. That's how Trump even got in the office.
But what I'm saying is that now you notice the four people I named are all African Americans that are outspoken about African Americans.
Hence the reason
where they use references to, if you're African American, you're a Democrat, you own a plantation. If you're woke, they're using a lot of buzzwords that would appeal to some of the more racially challenged people in Trump's camp to almost placate to them and grift off of their message. Do you believe that they know that they are grifting off of a message that they know is not true?
Follow my head.
Okay.
That's
I do
the game.
too.
That's the game.
That is sad because I just got through talking about how a lot of politicians will compromise their beliefs and stuff for the bag.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm looking at these 4 individuals that I named, and trust me, they're not the only ones. There's what's the guy that's the sheriff
the black man. Yeah. Oh gosh.
And
like
you know
a few
what?
of them.
And you know what? That's what the white folk call him too. Oh, the black dude.
The
black
black man.
Yeah.
Yes. The black guy, the black sheriff. And he
yeah. So I kind of had to, it's disappointing because, I don't expect us to be a monolith. I don't expect us all to sit there and think the same way, speak the same way, and things like that. I totally get it. But when you're being used as a mouthpiece to basically down talk your race, when you're being used to vilify your race, and somehow that's your grift, that's your job. You don't have no other way of making money, but that's how you make money because you get paid to go into these shows and you start spewing this stuff. And the fact that you can actually sit there and while you depositing that money, while you cashing them checks, knowing what you're doing, and you still be okay with that. What you holding up there?
How many zeros do you need to sell out your race?
For some of them, I don't know how much they really making.
How many zeros?
But for them, I don't think it take that many commas for them to sell their souls. That's the sad part.
I don't know how much money Candace Owens is receiving, but it can't be that much.
It's worth it to her.
But again, also
she was already
her husband and everything.
Start though, Lori. She was already hating on her race from the very start.
Right, because of her experience. But
see, a lot of the whiter Republicans, there's things that they want to say about black folks that they know that if they say it, the first thing out of black folks' mouth gonna be, "Oh, you're a racist, you're a bigot, da 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 da." So all they really want is to find that one or 4 to say what they want to say, but they can't say unless they at home around people they know they can say it around.
Or unless
they find one of us to go on OAN or Fox News and say what they've been saying, that kind of gives them permission now.
Yeah.
To go ahead and be like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Or you could be like that white woman, that Brian. You could be like that white woman and wait till you come to a town meeting or something, and then you want to quote the lyrics from NWA as your excuse to just say the N-word several times.
Yeah.
And for no reason, just simply because you're fascinated with the word.
You might as well just quote from Django. You want to do that?
I mean, because at
one point, I think Leonardo DiCaprio kept putting that word in there, and it wasn't even in the script. Like,
is it?
Wait a minute, we only had it in there. We only had it in there 3 times, but hell, he said it about 50 times in this movie.
He got a little too comfortable.
He got real comfortable.
Yeah. He got comfortable, and I think, I'm not sure if you had a chance to look at because sometimes I really don't agree sometimes with him, but Charlemagne the God, he's a radio host in New York or New York radio. He has a show on Comedy Central. But speaking of there is a meter for how many times you say a certain word in that particular word, and for what he was talking about. So when he was on the show, he was talking about the use of cracker, and then gave like a history. So they had it was the funniest thing, because he just literally, he was like, we've just said this within 20 minutes 45 times or 30 times or whatever it was, and it was just this one. So I think that's what they should have had on Django, because I still can't watch it because it's still annoying as heck.
It is. I mean, and you know, and guys, this is just my personal take on the N word itself. Um, I really don't care for it. And maybe it's because I just came up in that type of household, you know, being raised by a minister and everything. But I mean, honestly, I mean, because what I put up there is boy. Boy to me is almost it runs the equivalent of the N word, and I can hear two other people of color say it, and they not even talking to me, and I still get stirred up and I still get angry. So um you know, it like, so for those of us who try to protect it and say, oh, it's a term of endearment, no, not even among me. um it's very rare, very, very rare. In very rare occasions, I will hear it and I won't feel just that urge to be like, really? But I mean, even amongst, so I don't even agree with that. You know, whenever our own people try to defend it and be like, oh, no, you are more intelligent than
We
that.
still in power from the word. The more we say it, the less power we give it.
No, you look the more ignorant. And anyway, so and
Lori, I guess you can't call me that anymore, even when it's happy time.
No, I call you Big Daddy and my king of my life.
Don't let her fool you, man. That ain't what she say.
Hercules,
That ain't what she say, y'all.
Yes, it is.
I ain't gonna say it on there what she be calling me, but it ain't that.
I
I'm not
call
to
you
say,
Brian.
now hold on. Now
Don't
hold
be
on.
trying to put sympathy.
Let's put this thing into context. Not to say that in some cases that the N word is not fitting.
Because yes, that is true. Because there are certain individuals that can be clearly identified with that in acting that way.
Certain circumstances that the N word is called for, and if used properly in its proper context, I have no problem with it.
But all of those contexts sound like the and not the Because I think anytime you hear the that's like call to action right there.
Yes, sir.
It's about to go down. If I hear the at any given time, I don't care whether you think it's justified or not. You might end up missing some teeth. So,
bruh, listen, man, I was in the I was in a line to go pick up some food in a drive-through, and these young Latino boys come on the outside. It was a double line, and they were going back and forth. I happened to have my window down, and these jokers had the nerve to splash the word out. And I stopped, and I gave them like the people's eyebrows, like, what'd you say?
Caleb.
Bro, them windows went up so fast, and they was driving like this the whole time we was in the drive-through. I'm like, so even amongst people that are of color, you know, everybody love to try to sneak and use it. I don't know what it is about the word, but
well, you know, being in New York as long as I am, and I'm a resident New Yorker now. Isn't that right, Lori? I noticed that a lot of my Afro Latino friends up there, yeah, I mean that's just a common word. It's just, yeah, I mean my Latin folks, they say it. I mean it's their word. They take it like it's their word too, and they call each other that. They're not saying
right.
it not necessarily in a derogatory way, but they've adopted it too because, and you almost have to look at it this way. And I used to try to tell some of my African friends this too, that thumb their nose up at Black Americans because they're not African Americans. I mean, they're not African. And I always try to tell them, I said, listen, if you get stopped by the popo and I get stopped by the popo, I can guarantee you the outcome is going to be the same. They're not going to go, oh, you are a real African. I don't think that's going to happen. So, bruh, we all in the same pot together. Exactly. And I think our Latin brothers and sisters feel the exact same way in a lot of instances because I hear them going off with that just as much. And they don't do the they all about the
Yeah.
Uh,
They did say,
if
they
you
did
close your
say,
eyes, if
I was
you
just
close
looking
your
at,
eyes, except for the little bit of Espanol you might hear, you would think it was just two black folks going at it. It's
yeah.
true. It's
And
true.
again, like I said, I mean, anytime I hear either one, I just perk up and I just look. I'm like, okay,
Yeah.
you know. But if you got to be that conscious about it, then maybe you shouldn't be saying it.
True. And like I said, my main thing is that we have to be careful with a lot of things that we say because there's other people watching, trying to see if we're giving them permission to be able to
Right.
jump on something. Because like I mean, honestly speaking, if you had two people in front of you and one of them said, a black guy said, "Hey, what's up, man?" And then right next to him is some redneck from Alabama, and he says, "What's up, my
Okay.
Excuse my French, y'all. Earmuffs if you need to, but only one of them gonna get the shit slapped out of
Oh, yes, sir.
them. I'll let y'all figure out which one.
Which one? Which
So
one?
why it's not the same? That's a whole nother show and a whole nother conversation. Should it be the same? That's a whole nother show and a whole nother conversation. But I do guarantee you this: only one of them gonna be missing some teeth. So again, I'll let you figure out which one that is. But yeah, bruh, some things I can't give you a Harvard educated reason as to why two of the same things are different. But just trust me, white people,
Stay safe.
it's different.
And
Don't do it.
stop. And please stop listening to Candace Owen and the rest of the other people who think that they're trying to disparage that foolishness and think it's okay that you can talk about it.
I'm gonna bring back Chappelle's show when we sat there and we did our black draft. We gonna give up Candace Owens, Larry Elder,
Herschel
Alice
Walker.
West, and Herschel Walker, and all we really want back is Justin Bieber.
And they can also take Diamond and that other lady during the Trump campaign.
Yeah.
I forgot about them. I forgot about them.
We're gonna bundle all of them up, and you can give us Biebs, and we'll be okay. How about that? I think that's a fair trade.
That's more than a fair trade right there, boy. That oh Lord.
Because if I can get my peaches down in Georgia and my weed from California, come on over here, Biebs.
Good God.
And then I take my chick up north because she's bad. Yeah, I'll definitely take Biebs, and y'all can have all of them other ones and deal with all them fools. But anyway, y'all, that is going to be our show. I do want to thank my panel for coming in, as they always do. Mike had to jump off. He's a real estate agent, y'all, and guess what? He got condos for you. So if you are in the greater New York City area or outside of the boroughs of New York City, Bronxville, all of that, he can take care of you. So if you are looking to make a move home-wise, reach out to him. As a matter of fact, we have another realtor on the show. He should be back next week. That is none other than Jermaine Parker, aka The Franchise. He's a real estate agent as well, licensed in North and South Carolina. So again, if you're looking for that first home, or if you're looking for a step-up home, you're going to your second home, reach out to JP. He can definitely help you with that. If you need contacts for either one of them, just reach out to the show, theparkermedia@gmail.com, and we'll hook you up. That's what it's about. And we also definitely want to thank Mr. Courtney Starks for coming through, giving us some gems, giving us some good nuggets. He's a good brother up there in Brooklyn, just trying to do one thing at a time, but he does a lot of things at a time. And I'm glad he graced us with his presence, because he's got a book signing. His book is coming out this week. In case y'all didn't see that earlier, I'm putting it up here. It is called My Kidneys Failed Me. But guess what, y'all? God didn't. It's a journey of growth and rediscovery. So we are excited that he's able to do that. If you are interested in purchasing the book, just go to Courtney'sCornerLLC.com. If you need more information, please send us an email and we'll get that over to you, theparkermedia@gmail.com. As you saw earlier, we did have a commercial from our friends at Plumbers, Electricians, and Beyond. If you too have an event or a product that you want to be able to let everybody else know about, send us an email at theparkermedia@gmail.com and we can get that out there to you. Again, I want to thank my panel, Ms. Lori Parker, Mr. CJ Jones. It's always a pleasure. Next week, we'll have the franchise. Maybe we can get our full panel. So maybe Brad and Mike will pop up too, and we'll bring the band all back together. But if not, we will sit there and roll with whoever we got. Guys, again, I appreciate it. I will see y'all next week.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it.
And it's a ticket talking Mazda for the biggest. That's a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. I'm a comma and a comma and a comma. Gotta get it. Comma and a comma. Gotta get it.